Hey team, we have another mobility session here for you guys. Depending on how much time you have, you might be able to set aside time to do the whole thing. But of course, you can definitely shorten it down. Just stick with, even you could set a timer 5 minutes and just get through as much as you can. You can always come back to it later. This is a nice thing to be done at any time in the day if you feel like you need a little bit of movement and a little bit of it's kind of a mixture of mobility and movement and a little bit of stretching as well. So we're just going to start in tabletop. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to move through our cat-cows. So we'll get a little spinal movement here. Inhaling as you lower the belly towards the floor, find some length. Exhaling as you draw the belly in, pushing away from the floor, arching like a cat. And you're going to move at your own pace with your own breath. So it's all good if you're going a little faster or a little slower than me. Just kind of check in with your own breath and find your own pace. Again, we'll go for the inhale as we lower the belly and exhale as you draw in. If you wanted to add a little bit of movement here, you could kind of rock forward and back as you do the movements. Find what feels right for you. You could also go for a little forearm stretch as well and flip one hand around while you're moving. And then, of course, if you try that on one side, feel free to then try it on the other side and flip the other hand around. That may give you a little stretch in the forearm as you're moving through your cat-cows. Feel free to continue with that if you feel, like that's feeling good. You want to do a few more. The next kind of little bit of flow that we're going to get into is we're going to sink back into those hips, extend the arms out in front. We're going to find a child's pose here. And then we're going to start to roll through the spine, come back up forward into tabletop, and we're going to come all the way through and find some length here, right out through the crown of the head. Big breath in, and then exhale as we tuck the chin and start to roll the body back to child's pose. And now I'm going to let you guys take it from here. Move with your breath. Roll through the spine to find that length. And then tuck the chin, and we kind of reverse the movement to roll back into our child's pose. Let's go through that one more time. Any of the movements, feel free to do for a longer period of time or a shorter period of time, depending on what's feeling good. And then we're going to come back into our tabletop position, and we're going to move into some hip circles. So you're going to shift the weight onto your right knee, and you're going to take that left knee and try and make as big of a circle with your knee as you can. Okay, so try and every single time you circle around, try and make it a little bit bigger. You're going to you may feel a little bit of your core kicking in here. There's a bit of work, bit of balance happening as you circle that knee. We're going to go for the opposite direction as well. Nice big hip circles. Try and draw the circle as big as you can with that knee. Feel free to finish up whichever direction you were just going, and then we'll switch sides. Again, find that brace in the midsection here, and we'll start to go for those nice big hip circles, but kind of drawing the circle with your knee on the other side. So we can go for 3 big circles in one direction, and then we can switch and we can go for 3 big circles going the other way. You can always do more than 3 as well, okay? Once we've done our last few hip circles there, we're going to bring it down to seated, and we're going to find this 90-90 position. So meaning like a 90-degree bend at both knees, okay? And now we're just going to kind of flow from side to side. So your hands can come in behind you. We can come through center, and we're going to go to the other side. All right, so you're getting a little bit of internal rotation on the one side in the hip and external on the other. Few ways we can play around with this. You can keep your hands in behind you for support, but if you wanted to make it a little bit spicier, we can take the hands off the ground. But if that's not feeling right or we don't feel like we're there yet, that's all good. Keep the hands on the floor. We'll just flow through that a couple more times, each direction. Maybe slowing things down, checking in, see where we're noticing things may be tight or a little bit stiffer. And then whichever side you're on, we're going to hold here for a moment. We're gonna bring the hands, they can either come in front or you can have them on the leg, in a place that feels comfortable. You're gonna inhale, find some length with the spine, and then exhale, we're gonna bring it forward. You may feel a nice big stretch in your glute there. So every time you inhale, find a little length. Every time we exhale, we can try and reach a little bit further forward. And I kind of want to have that little bit of movement here, even though this one is a hold, you may be feeling a bit of a stretch. I want you to keep a little bit of movement with the breath. You could also maybe shift a little bit side to side, see what feels right. And then of course, we'll do the same thing on the other side. By all means, hold that one longer if we feel like that's what we need. If we're ready to check out the other side, inhale to lengthen, exhale to kind of relax the body over. One side may feel tighter than the other, so always just, taking note, seeing how we're feeling. We often will feel different from one day to the next. So keep the breath going, check in with how that side's feeling. We're going to move into a squat next. Okay, so I showed this in the last video. I apologize, I don't have something here for this time, but we're gonna bring it into a squat. So we've got options, okay, for your squat. If we feel like we need support to hold on to something, I would have a chair, your couch, your bed, anything you can do to be able to allow yourself a little bit of support to press. Or if you feel like your heels are lifting, that's all good. You could also sit on something. So if you've got like I used like a medicine ball, which we maybe don't have at home, but if any one of you guys have a yoga block or something like that you want to actually allow your hips to sit on, that can be nice. From here though, whatever variation you're in, we're going to try and press our elbows out against the knees. All right, feel that kind of opening in the hips. And then from there, we're going to lift the hips up, relax the body over. Maybe the hands come to the floor, maybe they don't. Maybe they come on our shins, or maybe if we've got that chair or, coffee table, bed, whatever's in front of us right now, you can always place your hands there. All right, make sure we're breathing. You're gonna bring it back down for the squat again. Option to add that little bit of pressure where we're kind of sending the backs of the arms against the inner thighs. And then we can send the hips up. Try and relax the head over as much as we can. And we'll go one more time. You'll bring it down to your squat. Option to add that little bit of just gentle pressure, feeling the hips open. And then we can relax the head down as we lift the hips up. Maybe the hands are on the shins. Maybe they're on your coffee table. Maybe they're on the floor. And then we're going to bring it back down. And we're going to find a downward facing dog. So we can kind of shake that out. Hands are out in front. We're going to send the hips up and we're going to go for a little bit of movement where you can pedal the heels out. So you might bend one knee, have the opposite heel press towards the floor. Make sure we're breathing and then we can go for the opposite side. Also watch that your hands aren't lifting up off the floor. We want to be pushing down into every single knuckle, pushing away from the floor here. Make sure we're breathing. We'll go for a couple more breaths here, if it feels good. And then we'll come back down and we're going to find a lunge. So you're going to bring one foot up. You can always help bring it up to the front here. And now I kind of leave this up to you for what feels right. Maybe your hands are on the floor. Maybe we bring it up. Maybe that coffee table or your bed or the couch is near you. You can place one hand on for support. But we're going to breathe here. For those that want even more, you could lower the forearm down towards the floor. That'll give you a bigger stretch. But for those that feel better, staying up higher. If you've got something, yoga blocks or something else, books even, like you could place your hands on, okay, if the floor feels like it's not available for you. And then we're going to get a little bit of movement here. So 2 options. Back knee is on the floor. You're going to send the hips back and you're going to come forward into your lunge. We're going to do that a few times. All right, that's option 1. Again, if the floor is not available, hold on to, maybe a chair, the bed that's beside you, okay? A little bit of a more intense version, we bring it up to here. We come back to a lunge, and then we shift it up with the leg straight. All right? But either version is going to give you that same idea of a stretch. And then, of course, we're going to do the other side. Maybe I'll face the other way. All right, so we can start here, get a little bit of movement, whether you want to stay down, whether you want to come up, whether you're holding on to something for support. If you want to go for a little bit more, you can try and lower the forearm down towards the floor. Make sure we're not holding our breath. And then we can get into that little bit of the moving flow. So we can start to send the hips back, extend that front leg, and come forward. Or a little bit more of an intense version with the back leg extended, and then we can lift up. Flex those front toes. We'd come forward again. Make sure we're breathing. Either version. Maybe go for one more if it feels all right. Excellent. Okay. Last one, we can finish laying down on our backs. All right, so we're going to draw, let's draw the left knee in towards your chest. All right, and then you're going to take the right hand, and it's going to cross the leg over your body. We're going to try and keep both of our shoulders as much as we can on the floor. And then from here, we can take the left arm. We're going to circle it around up overhead. It's going to come forward, and then we're going to open it back up across on the floor. Again, we'll circle the arm up and around. And you can open it up across the floor. This is just an option to add the arm movement. One more time, we can circle and then open it across. Slowly, we'll come back to center. We're going to switch sides. So we'll extend the left leg, draw the right knee now in towards the chest. And then you're going to take that left hand and help guide that right leg over towards the floor, just as far as feels comfortable. And then from here, the right arm now, we option to add where we circle it up around and then back across the chest and open it up. If that's feeling good, we can go for it a couple more times. If we'd rather just hold, all right, that's all good too. I'm going to let you guys keep going. But another option, if this doesn't feel right for the twist, you can always have both knees bent, feet on the floor, and just allow the knees to fall over to one side. And that works as well. All right, but finishing up whichever side you're on there, coming back to center, draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug, maybe draw the knees in towards your nose. And then we can slowly start to rock ourselves up to seated. And there we go. We're done. Thanks, everyone.